Let's get our Splashico going because it returns once more. Cash joining Moist as they try for a powerful start to the split while Liquid attempts to widen their second place lead in points. It's a best of 7. Let's enjoy the show.
We just witnessed the battle for French supremacy, but now it's time for the El Splashico, baby. Get up and get loud. It was Team Liquid getting the wood last time, Stumpy, but now there's a big old cannon on the other side of the pitch.
The cannon is going to prove to be an issue that Liquid are going to have to work their way through, but cannons, they're only found at sea where it's mightily wet. So I feel like, you've got the fact that we've got the El Splashico on our hands here in the upper bracket semi-finals. It only seems right.
Love having the cannon. As you said, I was trying to think of some pirate ship sort of things going on. It is a bit piratey with the wide open expanses of the ocean that it feels like we've got here, Moist and Liquid. And it's just this element of the unknown about Moist now. We know what Liquid can do. They're just constantly on this upward trajectory internationally. They're getting their top 8s, they're getting their top 4s. And they're just constantly on the upper. Chronic taking it to the sky.
I've got a couple of roster moves, but what I didn't expect was going to be a Chronic passing to his brand new teammate Joyo to put that ball in. Unfortunately, our first goal is going to be an own goal on the side of Moist, but Liquid getting that early lead. And Liquid's journey so far, to be honest, it was pretty routine. Myself and Cole, we do the Liquid Day 1 streams, and it was quite easy to start off. I'm against 2.5 men, Speed, Rizix, and Toxic. That was a cheeky 3-1, just a little bit of a hiccup. And then we traded games with Sir, a brilliant team that myself and yourself casted earlier today, and that was a 3-2. They really brought Liquid to that panicked state. They couldn't get it versus Hogan mode earlier. But yes, that was a little bit of a tighter conversation, whereas Moist had to go through Monkeys, and then they also beat Hogan mode, which I would say, to be honest, that's a harder bracket to get through.
I would agree with you. Hogan mode as well. They're backing up that form, beating Star, as you said, and looking like, as we said after the series, the best team in the world right now with Scrub Killer.
maybe we said that a little bit too early.
Maybe a little bit, but we do see, though, these teams that make roster changes, more often than not, are beating the established teams. We just saw what happened with Vitality and K-Corp in that previous series, so that has to be a confidence booster here for Moist with that new pickup of Cash.
And this is also one of the rare teams in our the teams that are left in this competition that haven't made a roster move. Liquid, Rise, I believe, alluded to it on Twitter, saying that there was going to be a roster move with Liquid, and that he was saying him and Jorios were beefing, saying that he only started speaking on Saturday or Sunday of the major and whatever else happened. So there have been question marks over whether this Liquid squad was going to stay together. There were some tweets from Chronic, but they've clearly chosen to. And what a brilliant choice so far it has been. They are a wonderful trio, and Chronic, the man who seemed to be on that chopping block, looking to pick up his game to prove that it was the right decision to his two comrades.
I mean, when there's so many roster moves going around, around you, you almost feel like it's like scratching an itch. Like, come on, surely we need to do something. We need to get involved with this hype, especially when you do see some success from other teams making roster moves. But I agree with you. I love it. I think these guys have, the sky's the limit for this team, and well, they are Liquid as well. They are H2O. So really anything's a limit. You can get through anything with that element, can't you?
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of probably hydrogen. You probably can, because that's just one. That's just a little itty bitty atom. But H2O, that's a lot. Oxygen's got 16 little fellas hanging off him, or 12. I don't know anymore. I did chemistry at school.
We get into some chemistry.
It was such a long time ago.
I didn't want to go back to school, Stumpy. Thanks, everyone. Twitch chat, I'm sorry. I know you guys wanted to get a release. You didn't want to have to learn, but apparently now we're back at school learning about how many atoms are in liquid. Wicked.
Well, in liquid? No. Anyway, minute 45, and Oski with a shocking own pass towards his own net. Does manage to clear it away after Cash moves Atto from the pitch. Now Cash, all the way back in his own half, confidently clears it towards the right wing, where Juicy is waiting. A player that had some confidence issues after the previous split, where he did not feel that maybe he was the player that Moist needed. But very thankfully, he's also stayed on that roster.
He's got all the mechanics in the world. He speaks about...
What?
Hang on a minute! Hang on a minute! I mean, look at the replay here.
Where's he
what just happened with Atto?
What are you doing?
Oh, it's just... Ladies and gentlemen, he has slaughtered that left-hand side. It was Joyo down one end, it's Atto down the other. I tell you what, sometimes it's confusing when you've got two, water types going in against each other. and they just have forgotten whose team they're on.
You numpty. Atto also giving himself a nice one in the chat, which is very good. Clearly not taking it seriously. Chronic going for a lovely carry. Can't quite get that chance, so Juicy May with a long shot.
Wait a minute.
Actually passes towards Cash, who shanks it far into the opposite corner instead. 2 own goals in this series, and Atto's is much more embarrassing.
I can't stop thinking about what just happened. He did not need to hit that at all.
That was just like, oh, go on.
That was harder to put in than not. That was ridiculous. Like, Joyo's fair enough. He was trying to make the save. But Chronic,
Atto, what team are you on?
What team is on?
What team are you on?
Ridiculous. Oski low 50. That goes in. Can someone check Atto's bank account? What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank God large Oscar exists just to bully that ball in the back of the net. I'm about to lose my mind. Atto, get your head in the game, man. Stop shooting and saving the wrong net.
He's own goal and then saved a certain goal down the other end. What a start to the Splashico. This is what we love. It's one of the greatest rivalries in Rocket League history, just purely on namesake. And it has turned into a bit of a battle as well. 1-1 this season. But Joyo does get the late equaliser. It is Moist Esports, Stumpy, with the 3-2 overall record in El Splashico history, ladies and gents.
Obviously, we're seeing slightly different rosters coming through that time, especially with Moist obviously changing, Liquid not making any changes through that entire El Splashico run, I suppose. The final 10 seconds before overtime is now currently 2-2 in game number 1. Cash removed from the pitch. Chronic now to receive. Joyo going along with that ball, along with Juicy. The bump can't come in. Chronic losing a little bit of motivation towards the end of that play. The ball to the floor. And overtime bought by Moist. Yet another kickoff.
It's very fitting we've got overtime here. A couple of own goals, a couple of own saves. There's a fair bit happening, and I think that it's only fair to just everyone reset here and let's see who can win this OT. Atto, well, I think he's scared of putting the ball in, so I wasn't too worried about that one, but Cash does get the flick over the top. Atto does clear the ball, or maybe he was hitting it backwards, depending on... I still don't know what team he's on.
I hope he does. Oski knows what team he is on as he attacks that orange side. Chronic back flipping it into his own midfield, so Atto has to be picking up from that. And Liquid have got a good couple of own passes in them where they will confidently pass back, and I think that's one of those things that comes a lot with the tenure that these players have together. Cash, though, the brand new player, tries to move Oski out the way, but Juicy shot does end up flying high with the crossbar. Chronic now 50, caught out by Joyo, who from that 50 continues on his flight.
He was airborne for a while there, and that was a perfect opportunity. Cash had the demo, but Juicy just couldn't find the shot. It just had to be on target, had to put a bit of pressure on the defense, couldn't do it. That was a perfect opportunity for Moist. Maybe now Liquid. Chronic does get 50'd out. Joyo. We've got the Kamis there, the Cash Kami and the Joyo Kami. I feel like I'm playing with my teammate twice on the pitch. As a Chronic does get the ball. Nice 50-50, does get the boost as well. Liquid might be able to go to work here. That's over Juicy. 2 up, a Chronic double touch. Doesn't quite get it. Joyo's there. Juicy downfield. It's end-to-end stuff here off the backboard. Is there a follow-up? Oski's ready.
Good immediately on that attack, though. Doesn't even bother trying to get any light touch on it. Sends it straight back towards the orange net and wants to continue with some aggression. Atto now to the floor. Juicy challenges, and the Chronic has to fly straight up. Those are very awkward, but he deals with that ball wonderfully. Maintains that close control, but a chance for Cash here to shoot. Instead, pass to Joyo, back to Juicy. Back towards Cash. On target, and Atto, he knows what side he's playing for this time round.
Oh, that would have been just goal of the day, goal of the tournament. The 4-man pass play, Moist pulling out all stops. They're a new lineup, but they're showing their chemistry here on the offenses. Cash again finds Juicy. They're picking up the pass plays. Joyo's waiting in the wings, off the ceiling. Juicy fakes it out for Joyo, blocked off by Atto, and a counter-attack almost Liquid. But they're defending for their lives, but they're so dangerous. They can just get it down the other end so fast here.
That was a vital touch by Atto as well. Just even making any contact means that that very easy shot does not find its way in. 2.5 minutes into game 1 overtime, and Joyo in the back left corner sees Oski on the floor, so wants to take it high, ends up going low, resets over the top of Atto, and now Cash trying to challenge along with the Chronic onto that ball, takes the shot, Joyo to the ceiling, nobody to follow apart from Oski, low on boost though, and it's going to fall to Atto just to leave back and let that ball fall back to Cash.
Oski having the trail back here as Juicy's on the corner. Can he get a middle blocked out by a Chronic there? Low boost here, Liquid in a little bit of trouble. The demo coming out as well will help this offense. Oski, though, does huge and gets a double down the line. That'll help out his teammates, allow them to spawn into the map here. Team Liquid, well, they're just trying to regain a little bit of composure because Moist are the ones that are just really forcing the issue, but Iconic might have other ideas. Does get the bump out into the shot. The backboard bump. He blocked his own ball. Someone help Team Liquid out. They just do not want to score.
Iconic did all the work there. Neither his teammates realizing just how good that was. All of the work was done for them, and yet nobody comes in for that final touch. Iconic again passing towards the center. And normally with Liquid, it really hinges on Iconic to be pulling his weight at the back. When he does, they win almost every time, and it only falls to one of the top dogs in the region to be able to take them out. Juicy up for that double, but Oski from the backboard can clear it away with 20 boost. Leads it to Iconic, and the mid boost taken. That pass back, very confident. Cash to pick up, but Oski to intercept in the sky. No reset, just go for the 50, and Joyo intelligently takes it to the side. Gets a wonderful touch towards Cash. It rockets off his underside. Moist with the lead.
There's just no way he's got the touch. The skimmy dips in. Cash Palmy goes bang top corner redirect. The trust in Moist Esports. They're only a new lineup. But boy, oh boy, we haven't seen that kind of magic from Moist for a long time. What a way to end OT game number 1. Moist Esports. That is just... I'm sorry, but that is ridiculous. What just happened?
That's one of the best goals we've seen today. That is exactly what that is. The psycho pass off the sidewall, immediately into the redirect from Cash. Perfectly top bins too. People wondering, would Cash be able to fit on this roster? Would he be able to take over that role of a high level, a high pressure mechanical player? That's what he's been doing for years now. And I feel like Moist are the perfect team for him to show off those skills.
That was disgusting. And Cash just knew he was going to get that skin, but the power that he got off the wheels as well was ridiculous. What a way to end the OT. What a game. Like, Atto, if he can figure out what team he's on, that could be the catalyst for Liquid to come back. But Moist Esports,
as we goals in that one.
I mean, you know, as we said, Moist, they had to take down, the Hogan boys. So clearly we knew that they were coming to play here so far this tournament, and what a statement to make game 1. That is, they're on. Joyo is on.
It was a scary overtime, I think, for both teams there. Neither of them committing as much as I think they would have liked, because Team Liquid really like to throw the kitchen sink and everything that goes in the cupboard underneath. And in 3 seconds, that tactic really does play dividends. Liquid taking the first goal.
I've seen a reset here. Joyo just creeps too hard and
cheat.
Well, there's probably a man in the green room called Johnny Boy that won't be happy with that kickoff. The fast cheat and the turn up field. No one protecting the net. The 50-50, if it just goes a little bit behind Joyo, it is a goal every day of the week. You can't do that, Moist, but maybe it is a sign, Stumpy. You know, they're still a new team.
Still very fresh, still going to be issues like that. That pass now coming down towards Central into the net with Iconic sending it on and then not getting that second touch. Now Joyo to get a perfect flip over the top and the 50 saved away in the end by a Liquid defender, but that was hairy for a second.
Close one there as Iconic almost just tried to go for the psycho. The first touch wasn't fantastic and his teammates trusted him on it, but they do get out of danger here. Liquid, they keep this 1-goal lead. Iconic with a bit of space as well. The bump coming through. Juicy at the floor. He just clean misses it. He has clean blown straight past that one as Iconic does get a second goal on the board for Liquid. The bump came through and he just could not reach it.
Juicy not able to make contact on that play, and the Liquid boys, they're laughing it off now. They had a giggle on that one, at least Oski did, realising that, okay, good, that one sneaks its way just about past. 45 seconds, Liquid already looking better than, to be completely honest, they looked in the entirety of game 1.
They're on right now, and the bumps, we didn't see the physicality in game number 1, but it just shows the Liquid are growing in confidence, and Atto is figuring out that he's on the blue team, ladies and gentlemen, so this could be huge for Liquid confidence here in game number 2, Stumpy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Liquid getting a couple of early goals are going to think, right, we've put those demons to bed. We can stop thinking about the own goal, the own save, whatever it ended up being. They basically let 2 goals go differently. But Atto is going to be progressing down the pitch on this play. With one, he goes to the bump on Juicy, gets a touch over the top. That's going to leave Cash on the floor with the trousers down, but the ball finds him. In the end, Chronic can challenge him in the midfield. And in 90 seconds, Liquid still with this lead, but Cash with this push towards the net, not the 50 coming his way. Joyo to shoot, top corner. Chronic clears it wide, but only finding Juicy. A wonderful demo, and Atto, he really could have found the net there, I feel.
I think Team Liquid, they're the best team in the world at just always being able to score, even when it looks like they're about to concede. It just, the way they transition the ball down the other end, didn't quite come off there, but there was another opportunity here. Team Liquid keep this 2-goal lead. This could be a late equaliser there as a huge read out. Cash was lurking. Atto now solo play, gets the flip, breaks out, fakes it underneath. Forces two Moist members to jump. Cash tries to get the dribble. Chronic buys his time, just gets a little 50-50 in there. Allows Oski here with boost. Juicy's on an island, but the 50-50 doesn't come in.
Joyo and Juicy were thinking up in the midfield, but neither of them taking control of that ball until it falls to a Chronic in the mid. Oski going for a bump on Joyo. Joyo stays intelligently grounded just to allow time for Juicy to come back in. I love that Joyo didn't leave the ground there to try and go for a pre-jump save. Instead, stays on the floor. He can't go nearly as far if he's not in the air.
Good dunk there. Juicy now does get the infield pass, but a Chronic very awkward.
Hello.
Does make an interesting touch. Cash could be able to get the 50-50. That just got put on. There goes wide. Oski parries it to the side. There was a pass option. There was a shot. In the end, it just went a little bit wide. Didn't help anyone there. A Chronic going for the fake underneath. Gets bumped off. What can Cash do? The cannon off the ceiling. Does he get the... Oh! The flip! It's the cannon goes bang!
To the ceiling with the reset over Atto. Bangs it in the net. The cannon blasts through the entirety of Liquid's defense. And now just one goal separating them from the equaliser.
Just ripped a hole straight through there. The pace was electrifying there from Cash. This might be what Moist need. Just the three-man offense. We know what Cash could do. We saw it on Quadrant multiple times, and he's bringing it out again for Moist. This is a sensational comeback here, but they still need one more, Stumpy.
Yeah, that one more is going to be a lot hard to come by, especially if Chronic's going to be demoing for those players in the backfield, meaning that they can't work out of defense as quick as they would like to. Atto challenging with Joyo in the top corner until it falls back down towards Cash. That's central, but so is Juicy. And he takes to the ceiling. It's done well for Moist so far, and it's going to work well for Moist again, but just shot wide of the target.
Oh, there was another opportunity off the ceiling. They're just showing the flare right now. Joyo gets 50-50'd out. He goes Cash. He's got the solo play one-on-one. He goes for the fake and the dunk, but doesn't quite get it off. Juicy there. Moist controlling the midfield. The bumps are going to help pass. He's just going to be outspotted himself, Juicy. Off the corner. The demo came through and he did the rest.
The equaliser from Juicy comes from that back corner, and the demo opening up the entire backfield too. With a minute left, Moist rather have really turned this on. And it feels like Liquid, although they had those really early goals in the first 30, 40 seconds, they haven't been able to continue any of that pressure. Joy with one reset. Round the side, Juicy to shoot, but Atto, again, grounded on the floor, making sure that he doesn't give any opening or give any idea of where his passing is going to take him.
Love this midfield game from Moist. They're just challenging whenever they can. That's a huge flip reset, though. Is there a follow-up? Chronic's just not there in time. Gets dunked out. Oski now tries to control it. Maybe a pop over the top. Juicy's in trouble, but again, Liquid backing off, seemingly just trying to set up an easier goal. A Chronic off the ceiling. It's open. Perfect placement. Joyo just finds a way, dives. It's still an offense here. The shot over the top. Again, parried out. It's Juicy this time. Moist Esports putting on a defensive clinic right now, but it's not over yet.
40 seconds of sheer defense for Moist, and they are looking so strong. They are galvanized until that deadly shot saved away again by Cash. 50 in the corner now leaves this towards Oski to do an awkward three-point turn. Now suddenly, Juicy's on the offensive. A Chronic, central, awkward, shot from Cash, but saved away by Oski. That right wing is going to see him challenge versus Juicy. Juicy wins the ceiling reset. That's
one more.
Cash is there to shoot instead. Blocked out, ground found, overtime, game 2.
Oh, Moist have found a way. Liquid 2-0 up at the start of this game, but it's been Moist ever since. Kevin, the offense, kick off, Charlie, it is! Moist Esports have dead set stolen game number 2.
5 seconds is all it took. And those double, utterly even 50s benefiting Moist entirely. The comeback from them to be 2 goals down and win it in OT. Brilliant work from the boys in Moist. That newer roster having the advantage over the now, I suppose you could call them, RLCS veterans.
Yeah, Liquid calling the timeout straight away as well. So
yep, good.
We'll see what they can change up. But 2 kickoff goals, Stumpy, both sides. It obviously cost Liquid in the end there. It could have cost Moist at the start, but it was Moist who do get the win. There are a couple of costly moments there, but I love how Moist just brought that offense, brought that midfield game. They were showing up with the bumps and the demos, and the Team Liquid almost, it felt like they were playing a little bit reserved. Like they didn't want to throw that second man in and got stuck deep. They didn't have that fast-paced follow-up they usually have.
I mean, the amount of passes that we were saying, it's central, like it's there just to take that quick shot, and then it'd be a Chronic there a little bit late, or it'd be Atto there a little bit late, and then it's just an easy 50 into the corner then for the defense. You can't be doing that. You need to be pre-reading any of these passes coming in. If they're not successful, then you can turn around. Just make sure you have that third man behind you. But I appreciate with Liquid, they've fallen prey to those long shots over and over again, and they don't want that to be their downfall. On the other side, on Moist, Cash, what a pickup. Double over 700-point games. 2 in a row where he has been the top point scorer. He's been on top for shots, saves, whatever you look at. He has been leading. And Cash is a player that's not been overlooked. I think he's had a lot of respect, especially on Quadrant. But he's a player that now is really getting to shine. And that man, the cannon, screaming the houses down.
I mean, he's been absolutely electric, which usually isn't good around water, I've heard. But, well, it's working here for Moist Esports. They have just found something here off the ceiling. That just set up the comeback there for Moist. And since then, they just rolled through, found the kickoff goal in the overtime as well. They'll be thanking their lucky stars for that one. But they did give Liquid a cheapie as well. So everything, swings and roundabouts, they say. Everything comes back round, and it was Moist Esports. Get the 2-0 lead, and you'd have to consider this right now a bit of an upset so far. Team Liquid, top 4 at a major. And
top
now,
2 in Europe right now. The only other team above 100 points, bear in mind.
Yeah, good on them. Thanks for that,
they're good. That's all right. I thought I'd give you a stat to support your argument. Don't worry.
I was sort of happy with what I was doing just to lead into it.
I thought I'd give you more to help.
Well, no, I think that I was pretty happy with where I was going with it. But, if you want to just, chime in on my points, you can feel free. Just don't.
On me, sorry.
So anyway, as we were saying, Moist Esports, new lineup, but they're really taking it to the number 2 team in Europe. They're the only other team with over 100 points right now.
What a boring stat. 15 seconds without any incidents so far until Atto into this midfield. Gets a challenge versus Juicy, but Joyo taking it into the sky. The man who seems to think for some reason that people did not want him on Moist, so he was the last person they wanted on there. The love and outpouring that he has received and taking that shot from Cash's brand new teammate is going to be giving them a little bit more brand new life. Joyo bouncing off the demo on Oski and still managing to get that block.
Yeah, confidence is a massive thing for Joyo. It was the talking point of this first, queso roster back in the day when Joyo on land, when he is confident, because it is sort of night and day when he is starting to feel those nerves and not backing himself. But perhaps this new roster is all he needs to regain that confidence. We know he's got all the mechanics in the world, the freestyle background, everything in between. Starting to see it again, and the cannon is, taking a leaf out of his book as well.
Juicy onto that back. Finds Joyo, but he unfortunately finds the post over a beautiful goal. Going from the backboard and tapping in with his roof. Cash now fakes out one touch. Instead it pulls it back down towards Oski. And Moist, they maintain control of this game still. 90 seconds. And with a double demo coming out, it's actually briefly a 2v2 on both sides. That's central. It's also open. Atto to shoot with just an utterly unremarkable flop of a shot.
Yeah, he just put it on the ground. He was too concerned about getting it on target there, but Joyo's going to save that every day of the week unless he pre-jumped, but he had the composure. It was Juicy. He threw it off the corner, and it was a dangerous time there for Moist, but they find a way out. Chronic's got a bit of time to work with. Juicy with boost. Should be able to carry this one and get the 50-50, or perhaps the beat and the 50. Now it opens up. Joyo side flips out of the way, just gives himself a little bit more space, but that allows Team Liquid to get back.
Midfield again found by Cash, who gets a brilliant 50 back into that blue half. The Chronic to the floor, then underneath a couple, but read by Joyo. Now that left wing is going to see him go up for one, but the butt of his car ends up hitting the ball instead of the front, so can't get too much power. Cash with little boost, but a ground pinch to his name. Oski to save it away, but look at all this pressure continuing for Moist.
Liquid just giving them space in the midfield to go to work, but I think it's just letting Moist Esports grow in confidence here. They're able to just get their mechanics on point and set up some solo play attempts. Oski perhaps with a skim off the ceiling, can't quite get it, or off the corner rather. Atto follows up, looks for a bump, but Chronic playing the slow play. This could work here. Joyo just parries it to the side. Now it's Moist's turn to play some defense. Well, they held on so well last game, but it was by the skin of their teeth at the same time, having to make some incredible saves. You don't want to do that against Liquid. A Chronic off the ceiling, Joyo just gets there.
That backboard is just completely and utterly defended. That is locked down. You will not be finding too many goals coming from their Liquid unless you go for a rapid attack. I think right now they're going for a couple of backboard plays, sure, but they're not that fast. They can just be red. They're quite floaty. If you do what Zen does and fling the ball to that backboard, then get a double tap before your opponent's even left the ground, then you're talking. But until that point, they're just going to keep being punted back.
I don't know if they've thought about just being Zen either, which is a huge point that any coach should maybe suggest to their Bronze 2 teams. It is massive, and well, that was a massive clear coming out from a Chronic. The game just losing a bit of the midfield control, and the demo's coming out. Cash has to make an epic double save. Atto just backs off, respecting Cash's efforts there, and that was huge. The bumps are coming through from both sides, but whoever's left back on that island is just showing up, clutching up time and time again. Juicy, that's not what you want. That is not what you want at all. Joyo bails him out. He goes for the skim off the corner and nearly own goals it. Joyo with a must, just no power.
I love when we see Joyo go for musties, though. It means he's confident. Yep. It means that that's probably going to be a game-winning goal as well. He doesn't do them lightly. He uses power only to win those games. Joyo now onto that backboard, finds a Chronic with a long clear. Cash, though, to find it in the midfield with such a light touch. He actually works way past the ball. One reset, but loses control entirely, unfortunately for him. Juice with 100 boost, bumped out the way. Atto knew he was a threat and knew he had to leave.
Oh, here we go.
Cash on the backboard, but can't get to that touch because of the light bump in the air.
Bump, it would have been a goal if that didn't come through. A Chronic now infield pass blocked out by Joyo. Cash is there. Moist Esports have to find a way here. 20 seconds left, 15 now on the clock. Joyo with a bit of time. Is it going to be Moist Esports to get this late winner? They got the OT last game. Where's Oski? Gets the 50-50. Cash keeps it in. 5 seconds left. Can we have overtime, or is it going to be a late pass? Atto parries it to the side. Ball still in the air. 100 boost. Joyo's waiting for the pass. 50-50. We got OT.
OT again for the third time in a row, and Liquid are yet to win a single one this entire event so far, not just versus Moist. Moist, however, they are 3-1 in these overtimes, so if you're a betting man or woman, you would go on Moist here, but immediately not going to be a kickoff goal as we saw in that first one. Looking more elongated with a blue trail on that ball. Atto has to be saving it away from his own net. Great pass central, finds Cash, top corner found. Oski is there to block.
He surprised Oski a little bit with his shot, the power coming out, the precision, and now Joyo gets to go to work. He's got boost, the flip reset, but Oski just challenges from the side. Double commit from Liquid could be dangerous, but the 50-50 lands Atto behind it, flicks it to absolutely nowhere. Zero boost as well. Oski has to challenge now. Does so well. Joyo with boost. Moist Esports is setting up behind the ball sublimely at the moment. The flip reset from Joyo and the dunk. He's still on the ball. Dangerous now. Oski last man, but just buys enough time for his team.
Atto removing that threat of Joyo out away from the pitch. And Cash ensures that we move to another pitch. 1 minute in game 3. And we see the Juicy Cash Kami link up and be devastating yet again.
Juicy off the ceiling with the fake double backboard, and it's Cash already in the air for the follow-up. Moist Esports. Liquid called a timeout at 2-0. Moist say, nah, you're not having this one. And they 10 shots to 5, double the shots, 1 goal to none. Moist Esports on the brink of sweeping Team Liquid. Last time, Stumpy, it was a sweep for Team Liquid in their favour. Now it might be time for Moist's turn to return serve.
We are seeing such an exciting time in Europe right now. Because this is a brand new Moist team that are going up against Liquid and have taken 3 overtimes in a row. Yes, it's been close, but they have taken those 3 overtimes in a row. We've also seen this brand new Vitality come out in their first event and 4-1 Carmine Corp. We've got Hogan mode in the lower bracket quarterfinals as well, and BDS, who are another astonishing team.
Oh, I haven't heard of BDS since 2019. Where have they come from? I'm looking forward to that one.
Europe is just bonkers. We have so many teams here that can go to majors and truly threaten for the title, and yet it falls down to how well each of them do with just 2 lives. Joyo has got all of the power coming from that incredibly nerdy headband.
Liquid still have it in them, though. The reverse sweeps on the cards here. As we said, both teams have an extra life. This is the upper bracket. So we love a double elim, but both teams would be wanting to move on into that upper final. And, well, it might be Moist Esports here in a sweep. They're starting off well. Juicy, he's got all the time to work with Atto off the sidewall of his own goal. Does help the team out. But Liquid, they're just so awkward. The bumps are coming through, and well, Moist, they're more physical. The touch isn't great, however. Iconic might be get a free shot. Moist deal with it for now.
The nice boost still, though. Iconic's going to be continuing this attack. Sends it too far. I feel like everybody on Liquid is just doing that one step too many, then their teammates can't read it, whether it's successful or not. Oski there was waiting in the center. He had nobody really to challenge that ball against him, and yet Iconic thought, I need to get another one. I need to go for another touch on this. He doesn't need to. The communication really, I feel, lacking for Liquid here. Atto to shoot low, and with Joyo and Juicy trying to save it together, they do manage to get it away, and with 1 minute gone, it feels like Moist madness is upon us.
I just want to see Liquid start cutting more in the midfield and just stopping this sort of play from happening here. Joyo, with so much time, is just feeling himself. This feels like the Moist Esports, the queso we saw on LAN last season, and it's starting to come through here. But the beautiful pass across off the ceiling, just drops it down to a Chronic and just finds a massive gap in the defense. Atto, that is sensational.
From Watto to Wakronic, we have seen a ground pinch pass for the ages. Brilliant start for Team Liquid here, but we've seen them lose a 2-0 lead when they scored them much more earlier as well. They need to hold on and make sure that they don't fumble the bag.
That was unbelievable.
I don't want to speak to you right now.
Here we go, Juicy off the ceiling, does get a touchdown. Chronic's awkward, 50-50 out. Moist Esports almost getting the comeback here. Oski, though, has got time to work with 50-50 out. The demo coming through on Juicy as well. Could be in trouble here now, but Liquid find a way out. A Chronic downfield. Oski's there, but doesn't read it off the ceiling. Moist Esports, well, they were 2-0 down in game number 2. Stumpy, they found a way back in. They're only 1 goal down now. They cooked it 2. The 50-50 off the side. Oski follows up. Liquid get their second.
An infinite number of touches, and Atto does all of them. 1, 2, 3, then bumps onto Joyo to get another. Finds large Oscar lurking and waiting on the left. 2 goals for Liquid, but if they aren't thinking of the loss that they had previously at this point when it went to the overtime, and then 5 seconds in the overtime, Moist took it, then they're better than me, because that's all I can be focusing on right now. It comes down to a Chronic passing to Oski now, passing back around the side of Cash. Goal line defense staying strong though, and the pass out leaves Juicy to a counter-attack. One musty, doesn't lead anywhere as a Chronic is going to be standing firm.
Let's see if Moist can do what we saw in game number 2. Build up the pressure, try and work that midfield game and work these bumps in, and well, they're starting to do just that. Oski, though, gets a great beat out. The 50-50, the double bump, the double demo comes through as well. Means Team Liquid, they're still on offense here. Atto, he's lurking on the backboard. I like this. He's got a flip to work with. What? He just finds a way into the top right biddies.
Atto is back. He had a couple of shockers earlier on, but with that wraparound air dribble opposite top right, this kid is unstoppable.
That is disgusting. To redirect the ball from the other side of the net and still find a way into the top corner is fantastic. Just like Juicy, completely missing an open net. Joyo gets dunked out as well. Well, if there was ever a chance for Moist Esports to come back into this game number 4, it was right there, but Juicy couldn't get it again. What a shot from Atto.
Bear in mind, there's going to be Liquid on that best of 7 reverse sweep if they can get a few more, assuming that they also win this game, which is absolutely not locked in so far. It is a terrifying prospect as Oski goes to that backboard. Flip reset double, can't quite receive it, however. Now Atto in the corner, just trying to get as many touches as possible. Final 90 seconds, kicked in, and it must be panic stations right now for Moist.
It might have taken 3 games, Stumpy, but I can confirm the Team Liquid are heating up. It is steaming here on Utopia. Catch gets it to the side, but Team Liquid, they've got 3, they want 4, they want more. The bump's coming in. Atto gets cut out by Juicy. Team Liquid still on offense. Joy having to parry it to the side. Cash has room to work with. Flip reset in the corner. It's Atto again, the hero for Liquid.
The sentence, it's Atto again, is going to be ringing true this entire game. A wonderful turnaround that he has seen. The confidence is clearly back. His mechanics are no longer betraying him, getting own saves, own goals. He's been wonderful in this third match with 1 goal apiece, though everybody has been contributing. 45 seconds and a Chronic passing that one central yet again. Every second that ticks down leaves more question marks on Moist. Juicy cannot go anywhere with that ball, and a monstrous save from the backboard gives it the final 30 seconds towards Liquid into the own orange half.
Pack it up. We're going to game 5 here. Joyo takes it to the side. Maybe a consolation goal late here for Moist, but well, Atto's got other ideas. Cash is in trouble. The pop-up. Juicy gets a touch of the backboard. We'll be able to follow it. 15 on the clock. Maybe a counter-attack late, but, well, guess who?
What a turnaround. What a turnaround Atto has been the man in this individual game. Taken away the title for the most points in the games by previously owned by Cash in all of the previous ones. I think he was MVP in all 3 of them. And this time Atto standing firm at the front of that Liquid charge.
He turned on heat seeker mode that game, Atto, but this time he joined the right team, which is huge. The blue team gets the win. He knows which goal to shoot in. It took him 3 games, but he's found a way there. 1 goal, 5 saves, 7 shots. The pressure from Atto was immense. Team Liquid, what a comeback here. Well, they had to do it. It was now or never, Stumpy, and they found a way. Still a massive task. This is a best of 7. Reverse sweeps don't happen too often, except against me one time. But, you know, we'll forget about that. That's why I'm talking to you guys now. Team Liquid, they can do it, though. They've got the mindset, the mentality, well coached.
Yeah, I feel like as well, when you look at how Liquid have been approaching this series, this game looked completely different to how they were approaching the previous few. You know, they had problems where they weren't shooting quite confidently enough, where they weren't moving up as the second man confidently enough either. But look at Large Oscar on your screens right now. He is happy, he is excited, he is ready and prepared and making sure that he is going to be the man that will be alongside Atto and a Chronic in this potentially historic best of 7 reverse sweep.
Let's see now, game 5. Is this a return of form for Liquid, or was it just a consolation game for Moist Esports? Just giving them one in the Splashico to perhaps make it interesting. Oski's got other ideas. Flip reset, goes low, gets the 50-50, can't quite make it work. Atto now, it's just a Team Liquid show, gets the bump out, but Cash is ready. I was going to say Kami, I just keep reading the name. Running off the ceiling, dunked out, free shot. Joyo gets faked out, Atto gets faked out. Team Liquid could have scored 8 times. Instead, they scored none.
A couple of boost advantages on the side of Liquid. It falls down to Moist to burn quite a lot to get this ball away, but well worth it to alleviate any of that pressure. And teams, by the way, all time in the RLCS in best of 7s, out of 1,557 best of 7s we've had, only 18 have been reverse sweeps. That's just over 1.1%. It's so astronomically low, and yet Liquid are here attempting to do it in El Splashico.
That'd just be, there'd be something else, but it probably sums up the regional we've had so far, Stumpy. Anything's possible. We've got Scrub Killer. It's his 106th birthday, and he's in the lower final.
Happy birthday, bear in mind everybody in chat, Scrub Killer. Happy birthday, Scrub.
Happy birthday, Scrub Killer. It's great to see you. But right now, it's the Chronic show. Team Liquid open it up here. This could be the biggest turnaround we've seen in, well, 1% of the time.
1 pass from Oscar and 1 tap in from a Chronic around 2 defenders of Moist on this brand new Deadeye Canyon as well. A minute 15 gone, and Liquid continue their rampant tsunami against Moist.
You just feel like there's no way they can do it, but every goal, every moment, the confidence growing here, it just feels more and more possible for Team Liquid to perhaps mount what some would say an insurmountable comeback here. Cash does get 50-50 out. Could be another shot. Oski, free, top bins. Joyo saves it out. Atto works the round. Moist Esports are just flailing in defense. They've got no answers. Joyo low boost works the round. It's a Chronic again. Second for Liquid. Let's just skip game 6 and go to Champ Field, Stumpy.
I feel like Moist wouldn't be too happy with that brand new ruling of when the cast is fancy at game 7, it just sort of happens.
Group in. Why not? I think
We'll see, though.
it should be a mercy rule. If they don't score this game, they're not going to win the next one. But valid. As we said, we did see it before. Team Moisty come back from 2-0 in game number 2. Didn't quite work out in the previous game number 4.
But look at this brand new Liquid that we're seeing, though. They're playing confidently. They're playing further up. They're passing a lot more. They seem more aware of where their teammates are and their opposition. They're not just taking silly chances and just assuming where everybody else is on the pitch. They're actively looking and using their eyes to make these informed decisions.
Yeah, the first few games just felt like, you know, it was the Moist Esports freestyle show. They just had so much time to work with, but now they're getting none at all. Look in defense, even just throwing themselves at the ball. They're backing their rotations in. Just think they're going to be quick enough. That's a huge whiff coming out. Save out, but Joyo gets the follow-up. The speed got Atto. He tried to read it off the wall, but it was too much.
That was heart attack central on that one for Atto, I'm sure. Gets one miss, one save, and then sees it float past him with the gorgeous Moist goal explosion flourishing behind him. That's one goal brought back by the orange side.
It's hard to differentiate these two Liquid forms. I'm with you. We'll just call them blue and orange from now on. Atto now gets a touch. Team Liquid, they had the 2-goal lead. It's back to 1 now. Plenty of time on the clock if Moist Esports want to lock out this series and maybe have a crack of vitality there in the upper bracket. But for now, the double whip coming out. Just a huge misplay. Dunked out. Cash finds a way. That should have been a goal, but Oski just went for the easy shot instead of putting it in. That's gonna be him again. He is him. It's Atto. How many times, Stumpy?
He's not just Atto, he's the whole damn foot. Goes off the ceiling, taps it off the ground, top corner found. My word, man, what a different player to who we saw earlier in this series. That's 3 for Liquid, and it's Moist yet again at the mercy of a wonder goal.
He's just grown legs after the first few games there, Atto, and wow, Team Liquid, this is the team that we see, you know, top 4 team in the world, a major contender every time they head over there, and well, we're seeing it here right now. They've come alive. Moist Esports, they're a brand new lineup. This is where they're going to be tested. Do they have the consistency to deal with a play like Atto and Chronic as well coming online? Oski has been probably say the quietest one so far. Double save for Chronic. There he is. 2 goals of his own, 2 sausages, and he's done a nice save down the other end as well. Team Liquid, 1 minute 20 on the clock, Stumpy. Oh, I'm thinking of game 6 is just, it's nearly here. It's nearly upon us.
I mean, that was also 90% of the way in, and yet it was just about squoze out of the net. Oski now fancies a little bit of ceiling play. Manages to get it quite threateningly on net, but saved away by Moist this time. They've learned from those tricks. Atto, 1 ground pinch, but with 1 Joyo standing in the way, it won't find its way in. 2 goals need to be found by Moist in this final minute that is ticking down. That may be a chance for 1. Oski can get 1 clear, but blocked out, and then a bump on a Chronic in the back corner by the same player. Oski should have really gone for a bump there, I feel, and that's just another goal, but instead goes to the more challenging redirect.
I don't mind it though. He's feeling it. He's trying to get online. We saw a Chronic and Atto in the game here. 30 seconds left. Can Moist do something, or is this just going to be the Team Liquid show once again here? Team Liquid would have come back 3-0 down and out really in this series. It just felt like it was Moist to take, but well, heading into game 6, you nearly have to back Liquid as the favourites from here on.
I mean, the momentum. You see that shift. We've seen how Moist was so confidently attacking their games, and yes, they won all 3 of them in overtimes. They were so close to being those chances, instead falling for Liquid. However, Moist managed to have those moments. They differentiated themselves earlier on, but Liquid have really stolen the show, especially in these latter matches. A garbage time goal for Joyo leaves it as 3-2. Don't be celebrating that one too much though, as game 6 is suddenly upon us. And a fun fact, not only are Moist taking a timeout here and now, the last best of 7 reverse sweep in Europe happened almost a year ago to the day. All right, it was May 21st, 2022, so literally a year minus 1 week ago. And that was Moist Esports reverse sweeping endpoint in the 2nd Spring Regional last year. And they may well be at the hands of Liquid for another.
Wow. You really You're really hitting us with there's some things happening here where you're giving us reverse sweep stats. D-Rec, shout out to him as well.
Thank you, D-Rec.
You're giving us historical stats 1 year ago. We'll say to the day, we could say it was a week from today, but let's go with 1 year ago to the day, ladies and gentlemen. Moist Esports got a best of 7 reverse sweep, and now perhaps we could see it going the other way. Wow,
incredible.
Team Liquid, they have just found a way to turn it around. Moist Esports do take the timeout. I wouldn't have minded seeing the timeout after that game 4 just to stem the momentum, because now it just feels like Liquid are online.
I'm torn on this. I understand where you're coming from, but I like it after 2 losses. Generally, like this has been the second loss. Obviously, now we're going into game 6. We're going to be seeing them on Neo Tokyo. But I don't know. I don't hate that they didn't just count the last one up to a fluky win and then thought they can win it. But equally, you've got that to use. You may as well use it to your advantage. I'm happy that they're using it now and not right before game 7, though.
I'm with you. You can't call it a game 7. It's too late here. The Liquid train is rolling on. And for me, Stumpy, I just feel like if I'm looking at the Moist Esports lineup, has the cannon, has he run out of firepower? I just haven't quite seen him as online as he was.
That was more than
90%
in. Did you see that shot?
It was ridiculous. That was like found a way.
That was at 95, maybe. That was unreal how close that was. Okay, 2 more for Liquid, and they get this best 7 reverse sweep. The 19th that will have happened ever in the RLCS. Not just in this new open format, not just in this season, whatever it is, not just in Europe, in the entirety of the RLCS ever. This would be number 19. Neo Tokyo is another stepping stone on that journey.
As we said, every game as well just feels like it's more and more Liquid series to lose almost. I know they're still down in the series here 3-2, but unless this timeout can seriously change it up here for Moist, they just haven't found a way to deal with Liquid's pressure, and they're just bringing that heat in the midfield, in the offense. I talked about it earlier. When you give Moist room, they're going to go to work. They're going to turn it into a freestyle show. But if you don't give them room, they're panicking here. And Team Liquid, they're starting to bring their own mechanics. And that could just be off the kickoff. The worst start for Moist Esports. Oski wants to dance his way to Champions Field.
That's one way to crush a team's mentality, and it's Oski to do it. Bounces the ball off Joyo, and then has the wherewithal to follow it up. In 9 seconds, Liquid establish another devastating early lead.
Boy, oh boy, Team Liquid. That timeout must have worked wonders for them here. They found a way back in. Catch has other ideas. The cannon fires one into the top left corner.
He's found a new barrel of Kunbauder, and he is fully loaded. Atto does tap that one in, but that was going barred down regardless. 16 seconds, only 5 after we saw Liquid get their first goal. Moist, they're back in it.
You just see a shootout all of a sudden. This is a game on here for young and old. Well, mainly young, actually only young, looking at the players on this lineup. It is game on for young and young here for both sides. And well, Moist Esports have found a way back in. It just looked like maybe it was going to be Liquid's game to take after that first goal. But Juicy does get a flip reset, no boost to work with. The Chronic works it downfield. He has no boost as well. Joya gets a 50-50. Moist Esports trying to set up. Oski setting up a double touch. Cash is ready on the sidewall.
In terms of timeouts, when you look at Moist, they have called 2 timeouts while 3-2 up in a series, which is the exact situation here, and they have won both of them so far. The precedent is set that Moist will be able to take it here, and we won't even see that Champions Field, but Liquid have got the momentum in the series for sure.
Cash now gets a 50-50. Chronic gets bumped on the sidewall. Juicy pushing it forward here. Minute 15 gone, 1-1. Liquid trying to get something to work, but now we're starting to see Moist Esports clicking up that offense, building that pressure.
1 minute 30 gone. Atto with a reset. The second pass coming in, but now it just leaves Joyo to challenge with Oski in the midfield. Isn't able to get anywhere. Instead, Atto to pass it central. One fake away, one shot on target. Atto comes off that shot with 1 goal.
Oh, it just feels destined now that we're going to see that go the distance this series. Joyo tries to read it, a shot coming in, but he just finds it underneath there. Atto, he has been him all series long, as you said. He's been a whole foot, a whole leg, not just the toe.
I mean,
and now he's turning into just an enormous giant.
And then there's another one. Oski finding him. He's building up a torso on top of that leg. What a pass towards the middle. Backboard is found, and Atto is there to shoot.
Man, oh man, this is Team Liquid here,
It's
just
like
finding
we're
some
3D printing a
cheapies.
human. We've gone from the toe, and we're going all the way up the body.
I feel like Moist have just given them so many cheapies here. I said it's a new lineup, and maybe we're just seeing the experience of Liquid in these pressure situations as a cohesive unit, as a team, because structurally right now Moist just feels like there's so many gaps.
2 minutes gone and 3 goals. Sitting pretty on that blue side. Oski bangs it to Atto.
Oh, go on!
That double down for the second! The man is on fire!
Oh, what a perfect touch off the corner, off the sidewall, and he just finds it brilliantly at top bids or bottom corner, should I say. Atto is stepping up big time. He's been the catalyst for Team Liquid since game number 4. He's gone from a torso stump, he's added a couple of shoulders, and he's chucked his teammates on his back.
He is unbelievable at the moment. Gets that save away. It's a little bit hairy, but does manage to do so. And Acronic so cleverly calling Atto off that save as well. Knows he has more momentum, knows he can send it further. And look at the counter-attack that has managed to grow.
It's just disgusting. Honestly, it's disgusting what Atto's doing right now. I've never seen a player, well, I have. I can't say I've never seen, but he is seriously locked in right now for Team Liquid. They want Game 7. They want Champions Field. And Stumpy, they want that 19th reverse sweep in a best of 7.
We're approaching that 2-minute mark left, and it all just feels a little bit like Moist are they need to hold on. This is, bear in mind, whoever loses this will not be going home, but it sets them up for a harder run down in that lowest, especially when you've got Carmine Corp in that lower bracket as well. We now find ourselves underneath that 2-minute mark. Atto off the backboard with 1 reset. Gets someone to go from the ball. Juicy to shoot, but it does go really quite far wide. And just seems like any touch that Moist get on the ball right now, they're not thinking of what they can do with it. They're just thinking, oh, we got a touch. That's nice. Atto with another touch, another goal.
What is he? He's just he's a full human being now. That's it. He scored 4 this game into perhaps the most pressure they've been in right now to try and force Champions Field, try and find a way to, well, I guess, make that reverse sweep possible, and it has been Atto. 4 goals on the board from 6 shots. The shooting accuracy has been ridiculous. The double touches have been insane. He has been centimetre, millimetre perfect this game.
I mean, we've got 90 seconds left, and Atto is on over 700 points. One that I was praising both him and Cash for reaching at the end of a game. If he can break 1,000, this has been the Atto show. A shot on target. He sets up Oski this time, and it's a 6-1 in favour of Liquid. The torrential downpour is running away with this series. Champions Field looks so devastatingly likely.
Chronics just have to sit back and enjoy the show this game. It has been Oski and Atto combining 4 goals, 2 assists, 2 goals, 4 assists for both of them. And, well, the boys, we know the mechanics can come out from this young squad, and we are just seeing it on full display here. 5-goal lead, 1 minute left. Man, Mr. Shogun on Champions Field, Stumpy. He's just starting to stay a few dustle tones, if you will.
Wanting to make sure that he's all warmed up just as these players are for that final match. Atto getting 1 demo on Cash and a bump from Oski on that back line as well. Acronic sees Atto pre-jumping. Will he flick it high? Instead he just flicks it on target. Instead he just gets that fated Brazil. 40 seconds left. Liquid, you are monstrous.
What a way to head into Game 7. Potential reverse sweep on the line. By Braziling in Game 6, Stumpy, the momentum is ridiculous right now for Liquid. I don't know what Moist can do. It just feels like everything that Liquid touches turns to gold, or it, I guess, turns into a bit of a tsunami here for this team.
30 seconds. I'm still pulling for Atto to be getting over 1,000 points in this game. Juicy manages to get that second goal for Moist. He's going to be buying us a little bit more time, I suppose. He can get a couple of kickoff points. But with 7 shots and 4 goals, Atto has been on fire, supported entirely by Oski and Acronic in his endeavour to have turned around from a player at the start of the series that I literally screamed at for scoring an own goal and getting an own save.
It just feels like, I don't know how Moist get back into this game. Ever since that game number 4 where Liquid just brought the heat, there's just been no response at all. And even after the timeout, nothing here. We're going into game 7, a 5-goal win potentially, maybe more here for Team Liquid. Wow. If they continue this is going to be one-way traffic. But those game 7, Stumpy, there's something about them. It feels like everyone resets. Cash does get one back, but maybe a little bit of momentum. Maybe this evens the tides going into game 7.
Just a couple of goals. With Liquid, in fairness, just sort of messing around a little bit. Oski flying his way past that ball. They still look very confident and happy. Acronym taking a quick sip before this kickoff. But Moist and Liquid going to the first ever Game 7 in El Splashico that they have ever faced. We have never gone to that best of 7 final 7th game in any iteration of rosters we've seen between these two teams. This is an historic day.
Usually they just drown each other out by 5 or 6 games, Stumpy, but wow. Game on here. Team Liquid, this team is fully online. This is the best you can see them play. 843 points, 676 for Oski. Iconic, as we said, just chipped in a little bit late, but it really was the Atto show. That double touch off the corner was just absolutely ridiculous there. And
we'll see that
Moist
tomorrow on
Esports.
Top Goals. We'll see that tomorrow on Top Goals.
Oh, yeah.
Like, realistically, we'll see that again, guys.
I mean, this is just... It was just perfect. It was perfect. He didn't have to adjust his car at all there.
Mm-hmm.
And
so, TJ,
I don't know what to say if I'm Moist. I'll give it up. Take the game.
If we look at the landscape of this series so far, it was the first 3 wins going in favour of Moist, but they were 3 overtimes. Since then, we've seen 3 regulation wins for Team Liquid, with that gigantic momentum that we saw in that final match. Champions Field is upon us. A debut for El Splashico. Who is going to be taking home that wet trophy?
This is it, baby. What a series. Potential reverse sweep on the line for Team Liquid. If you're watching at home, if you're watching from your computer, maybe a couch, just edge a little bit further down the edge of your seat. Just edge a little bit closer. Get ready to stand up because I think we're about to see something special here. El Clasico, everything on the line. A chance in that upper final against Vitality, and boy, oh boy, if there's 2 teams that are absolutely online, well, it's definitely Team Liquid, and maybe just late in that Game 6, Stumpy, we saw Moist Esports just starting to get to work.
Been pretty uneventful so far at the start of this game. In the first 45 seconds, it's been Liquid pressure, but nothing coming from it thus far. Now, chance for Cash to go for 1 touch, but does get a backflip. It's not going to impact him too much as he manages to get from the clear off the backboard regardless. Trying to pinch it central, Atto. And working his way around the side of 1, around the side of 2. Continues down the pitch, but the boost stolen out completely from underneath him. It leaves Moist a little bit vulnerable. Nothing happening yet. Both teams just trying to fall into that, not wanting the momentum to fall against them too hard.
Chronic does get a pitch out middle. Oski's there, but Juicy does get the cut out. Atto now has to go to work. Boost to work with as well. Does get the beat out over the top of Joyo. Follow up. And Chronic double touch. That's ridiculous. Atto, he gets the follow up. It's Team Liquid to kick us off here on Champ Field.
The flow continues down the side of that mountain, and a Chronic to the backboard finds Atto above that final defender. It is a continuation of what Liquid established in the previous 3 games. This series very much going in the favour of Liquid so far.
Yeah, the Liquid wave is just surging right now. Juicy has got other ideas over to Cash or Joyo that was, but again blocked out. Juicy off the ceiling, doesn't get the touch he wants. Maybe a demo coming through. Cash goes to slot at top mids, but he misses. It goes wide. Team Liquid, well, they might have just got away with one there. Moist Esports couldn't find the opening. Oski finds himself in front of that ball, and Moist Esports can't quite get the equaliser.
Back on offense now. Liquid find themselves comfortable as 1 flick goes into the corner. Juicy can clear it away. Atto continuing to be that nuisance. Face it out! You filthy young man!
He's just locked in right now, Atto, and he has sent Moist Esports packing. Cash, where you going, son? Atto puts it away. Team Liquid get their second here. Game number 7. Everything on the line, and they are stepping up.
That is confidence, that is class, that is Atto at his absolute core. And on the camera, he popped off, he fist bumped, he screamed. He did everything to wake up his neighbours. A brilliant movement down the pitch for him, but now it's Juicy to be finding Joyo. That's on target, but it's of course Atto to save.
This is one of the most incredible individual performances I've seen so far. This comeback, Oski, it's an own goal! Oski redirects it down, and Moist Esports, they do the rest.
A devastating own goal. We're bookending this series with a couple. And it's Juicy this time. The other player starting with Jay to get that OG. We're halfway through the game. It's 3-0 for Liquid. It is pressure on Moist to get this done.
Moist Esports, they've just capitulated. There's no other word here to describe what we're seeing here. The reverse sweep, we said is impossible after Game 4. Game 5, we thought maybe not. After Game 6, we could just about put it in the books, and they haven't let us down here in Game 7, Team Liquid.
The right wall is going to be seeing Juicy take it round the side, gets it central, but benches a bit too high over that crossbar. Oscar with 100 boost, can't do too much if Joyo charges him down. And this needs to be what Moist do. They need to push, they need to be quick, they need to be savage, they need to be rude, quite frankly. Cash with one shot. Juicy back on target, one bump out of the goal, and one goal brought back.
Oh, there's life yet left in this one. Cash gets saved out, but Juicy with the follow-up just finds the angle. Had the infield pass on, but the bump coming through was everything they needed. Minute 50 on the clock, 2 goals. Game on.
Utterly doable. Juicy here to take one shot, but just goes wide of that target. Joy to remove Osti. And Cash shies away from it because he missed that side boost.
No, you can't be missing boost in these sort of situations. Game number 7, Moist had an opportunity off the kickoff. Couldn't make it work though, Stumpy.
Eventually, as 9 seconds tick down, Joyo can take one shot, but O'Connor to clear it away with one more save added to his tally. It falls to Cash to shoot. That's on target. It's just wide. It's an own goal.
Juicy pitches it in as well. Cash off the sidewall, finds the angle, double touch, pre-flip off the ground. Oski helps the ball go in. Juicy pitches it, does the rest of the work. 1 goal game, ladies and gents. As I said, just get on the edge of your seat because I think there's a bit of life in this one.
Oh, there's so much life. This is an entire stadium of people cheering for it to happen. A demo from a Chronic, but Juicy into the sky. Atto to block him out this time. 70 seconds and 1 miss on that side wall. 2 players commit from Moist. Onto the backboard now we find a Chronic. 1 minute to remain. 1 shot, 1 on target, and Oski the saviour for Liquid.
Finds a way and gets the clear as well. Juicy's got boost to work with, goes for the air dribble, fakes it out. Maybe Joyo can come in. The bump's coming through as well, but he does just enough to get out. A Chronic's having to backtrack. Oski gets the pinch out.
This is so nervy as Cash now goes to the ceiling with 1 reset, goes central. Nobody there though, and Atto to collect. When a team scores 3 goals in 1 game, they've got a 90% win rate, and Liquid, they are on the verge of letting that stat just drop a little bit.
Oh, Juicy gets the touch inside. A Chronic's there. Cash just backflipped. He's awkward. They're out of position. Moist Esports, 20 seconds left. They have to get it down the other end.
20 seconds with Atto now challenging Joyo with control of this ball, goes central to Cash, who does backflip, can't get anything from it. Juice there over the top of a Chronic. Joyo tries for 1 bump, Atto to clear it wide. Cash now goes high, but with Oski sending it back long, it's going to fall to Moist to get anything they can from their own half. What plays it over 1, a Chronic and Oski teaming up for that. It falls back in the corner. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the 19th best of 7 reverse sweep in the RLCS ever.